Good evening, colleagues. My name is Daniel Govender. It's good to talk to you. I just want to know if you can please raise your hands and tell me whether you can see the presentation and you can hear me clearly. Colleagues, can you hear me clearly? If you can just raise your thumbs up or give me a thumbs up or send me a chat on the chat to tell me that you can hear me clearly. Let me just check if you can hear me clearly. Yes, we can. Okay, thank you. All right, colleagues, thank you so much for joining me for this afternoon for the presentation on the Bachelor of Public Administration degree. My name is Dr. Govender, and I'm here to just to influence you and to get a buy-in from you why you should be doing the Bachelor of Public Administration, why you should be registering the Bachelor of Public for the Bachelor of Public Administration degree. Just to give you a background, the Bachelor of Public Administration degree is an NQF level 7 degree. It's a 3-year course, and it's year 1, year 2, year 3. Every year is made up of a number of module guides in terms of semester 1 and semester 2. And year 2, you have the semester 1, semester 2, and year 3, you have the semester 1 and semester 2. The total credits for these courses you will receive are 24 credits. Now, 24 modules, 24 subjects, that means it's equal to 360 credits. Now, when you receive the 360 credits, you will be qualified with a professional Bachelor of Public Administration degree. Now, what are the strategic benefits for you to do this degree? Why am I requesting you, colleagues, to undertake this degree? Now, what are the reasons? Now, for those of you that are working in the public sector, for those of you aspiring to work in the public sector, for those of you aspiring to work in the local government sector or the provincial government or at national level. Now, when you get the Bachelor of Public Administration degree, this will arm you with the benefits of ensuring that you are strategically placed to argue issues within the public sector management. We talk about simple issues like the service delivery issues. How will this subject help you to enhance service delivery issues at national, provincial, and local government or in any public sector departments? For example, like your state-owned enterprises, your AXA, your other public bodies, your Office of the Ombudsperson. How then will you benefit? Understanding the benefits of public administration is so huge, colleagues, that it will help you in any part of your NGOs, non-governmental organizations, your CBOs, your community-based organizations, your service delivery issues, your basic service delivery issues. You will understand the Systems Act. You will understand the Structures Act. You will understand the Constitution of 1996. You will understand the Bill of Rights. Those are all the relevant pieces of legislation that will put together, and when you will understand public administration and local government are the front runners in terms of ensuring that the public sector functions effectively and efficiently. If currently you get officials and office bearers that are serving government institutions, now, if they are not armed with a qualification such as the Bachelor of Public Administration, which is offered at Regent Business School, if you're not armed with such a qualification and you don't have the skills and knowledge to manage government, to manage the public policies, to manage programs, how are you going to be effective in the public sector? Now, it's so important that this qualification is so relevant within the public sector and the public service departments, within the environment of the public sector, within the environment of government, within the environment of even corporate companies, for that matter. This qualification, students, that is offered will enhance your thinking on some of the important aspects in government, such as, you may ask me, what What will it do? What it will manage? How will I benefit from this? Policy implementation, policy development, preparing officials and preparing office bearers to ensure that they understand the concepts, the various pieces of legislation which I spoke about earlier on, such as the Structures Act, such as the Systems Act, and the most important, the PFMA, is a Public Financial Management Act. And that will lead you, colleagues, to the issues of supply chain management issues. Now, this degree will be so relevant within the government officials. It will actually empower you as learners or as future government or future CEOs or city managers or mayors or presidents or provincial executives or national parliament. This will be so relevant to you, students. It will actually give you a stepping stone to success. Now, when you talk about developing skills, isn't you want to know about leadership roles? Isn't you want to know about control, how you lead, how you control, how you manage? This degree, students, that is offered at the School of Law and Admin within the Regent Business School, is actually talks about how would you manage effective limited resources that we have. You may ask me, what are those limited resources, Mr. Govender? The most two important limited resources that we have to manage in the government sector and the public sector and in the corporate government and possibly in your own business is financial management and human capital development. If you don't have these two talking to each other, then your strategic decision making will be of no use. It's important to understand that we need to make strategic decisions within an organization, within an institution, like national government, like parliament, like the provincial executive committee, like the municipalities. You need to be well endowed and be so that you can show that your effectiveness and efficiency in the management of your departments and the institution. It will ensure students that the limited resources I spoke about will be effectively managed and used and implemented within the various projects. Now, development of administration, development of policies, and how you develop policies and how you implement policies. Developing policies is one thing, colleagues, and implementing policies is another. This degree will arm you with the theory and practicality of how you develop policies, and in the end, how you implement policies to reach a particular outcome. You may have a housing policy. You may want to develop a housing policy. You may collect the data. You might collect the information. You may design and develop a policy. What then? Do you take the policy and put it in 530 and you don't know the policy, you don't know how to implement? This degree will tell you and give you practical knowledge and skills how to implement a policy. So that is why, students, that I'm emphasizing that this degree is so important. This degree of public administration is so important in the management of our day-to-day affairs of government. You and I know the issues surrounding government. You and I know we have, with respect, we have so-called professionals and colleagues. If you are armed with this degree, you are no more seen as a person that can be taken for granted. Especially students in the service delivery issues. Another important factor that course that you'll be learning in this particular degree is your disaster management and political science. How then do you disaster management versus political science versus local government versus political administration, public administration? Recently, 3-4 years ago, the COVID-19 pandemic within the world, globally, and including South Africa, did our disaster management responses were up to standard. I would say to a certain point. Could it be better? Yes. Could we manage more effectively? Yes. But did it do its job in terms of the Disaster Management Act? Yes, it did. But we can learn much more in terms of the management of disaster. Similarly, with another course that we'll do, a module that we'll do in this degree is the political science. Political parties, elections, what comes within that particular module. Your manifestos, your government concentration issues. Where do politicians have a greatest amount of effect? The conflict between politicians, between the various politicians, various political parties, and how then do you manage these issues? So students, you'll notice that I will present this slide, this presentation to the team in terms of the marketing department, and they can distribute the slides to all colleagues. You'll get, I'll give you examples. So colleagues, being professional in your administration, in order to manage the government of the day, is so vital in our current political situation, in our current government environment. Especially students, I must emphasize this. Yes, you have your national, you have your provincial government. It's important rungs of the ladder. But your third sphere of government, which is your local government, which this degree will play a major role in the application of your policies, in the applications of your budgets, in the applications of your research, in the applications of your information and technology, in the application of your ethics within the public sector. I can go on, students. The labor law will come into effect. Your risk management will come into effect. Your research will come into effect. Your public sector budgeting will come into effect. That's how important this degree is, students, to those of you who want to climb up the rungs of the ladder in a government sector, in a corporate world, in a public sector world, or in your own business. It is so important, students. I spoke to you about government policy and the disciplines that cover government policies, the research projects that you will do, their interaction and engagement with community leaders, with community-based organizations, with non-governmental organizations, with civic associations. These are such vital components of the implementation of government policy. The foundation you will receive in terms of this degree and in terms of the module students, you'll be able to evaluate the effectiveness of government health insurance, for example. You will be able to manage effectiveness, the labor relation laws within the country. And really, students, as indicated previously in the previous slides, that your data and your correct data and informed data is so important, and the analysis of the data is so important in the policy development and implementation to gain evidence-based and effectiveness in government structures. Now, students, colleagues, sorry, I'm calling you students, I'm thinking of my students. Colleagues, this degree. Colleagues, you may have your questions on the chat. I'll go to the questions in a bit, but I just want to take my thought process out. I will answer your questions. You may put them onto the chat and any comments, and I will go through those comments with you and this question and give you their respective answers. Now, if you look at how do you advance local government? How do you advance public administration? Now, if you think critically, students, public administration, that means how do you administer the public? Who is the public? Is the public government? You may say yes. Is the public institutions? You may also say yes. Colleagues, the public administration, when you say you're administering the public, is you administering the citizens of a country, citizens of a province, citizens of an area. For example, I stay in a Tekwani area. The Tekwani area is governed by the demarcation board, and it's a demarcated area. Now, in terms of public public administrators within the public administration fall at the Tekwani is the Tekwani municipality, for example. That's the body in terms of local government that will govern the citizens that live within that demarcated area. So that is what public administration is all about. Public administration is then how do these municipalities or council govern its citizens? Are they trained to govern citizens? Some of them may, some of the majority, in my understanding, colleagues, I may be wrong, do not have the credentials like you will get when you study this program, the credentials you will get to ensure that you have the relevant competency level to manage community service, to create economic development, to enhancing citizens' engagement, to consider budget types of budget, to explain to the public what is budget control, what is credit control, for example, what is rates, what do you use your money, how is one's finances used in the rates department, that the money that they collect. Now, those are such an important aspect, students. Now, that is the Bachelor of Public Administration. You will understand is how you as a councillor or a member of parliament, how you as a official of government at national, provincial, local government, whether you're a city manager, whether you're a director general, whether you're a manager, whether you're a skilled worker, whether you're a professional colleague, is that how then you engage with the community? How do you then allow the community to participate in government issues? Understanding, we have come to an era from apartheid to democracy. In a democratic government, the decision-making of any issues within government, especially the policy students, you've got to talk to these policies and you've got to engage the citizens to participate in policy and thereby making decisions. That can also go to budget resources. That can also go to project-related management, program-related management, your programs. It's all incorporated into this, I would say, a well-compiled Bachelor of Public Administration degree that is offered to the various students by Region Business School and the School of Law and Management. Students, I just want to go up to check whether there's any of you got any questions. Just give me 1 second, please. I just want to go through any questions. You can put them on, and I'll answer them. I'm just checking if there's any questions, chats. Students, are there any questions? What work will you get with this degree? Sir, what work will you get with this degree? You can become a city manager. You can become a CEO, a CFO of government, a city manager of municipality. You can become a parliament. You can become a parliament member. You can become a director general within any spheres of government. You can become a manager. You can become a community organization worker. You can become a corporate, you can come up the corporate ladder within the public sector. You can become a board member within the various structures of the various boards in terms of state-owned enterprises, such as PRASA, such as EXA. These are important jobs that you will get. And then many other jobs, many other jobs. What is the difference between public administration and public management? Colleagues, good question. Public administration is the administrators, right? Administrators. Public administration were the administrators, such as the city manager or the councillor or the another senior official or any officials within national, provincial, local government. They administer the affairs of the public, whether it's projects, whether it's programs, whether it's service delivery issues. But the public management is a governance issue. public management is the actual structure within a municipality. For example, if you have the business plan, if you have the policy, if you have the performance management system, your systems and your tools are actually the public management. That's your public management issues within a government perspective. Okay, I hope, Jerome, that is your answer correctly. And Honor, any other comments, any other questions before I continue? Was that Mr. Honor? I think it's, what was it? Did I answer your question? What work will we get with this degree? And what is the difference between public administration and public management? Colleagues, was the questions, is it one or two different degrees? Now, students, the Bachelor of Public Administration is a single degree that's made up of 360 credits, and the 360 credits is equal to year 1, year 2, year 3. In each year, you will have 8 modules to complete. In semester 1 and semester 2. Semester 1 is made up of 4 modules, and semester 2 is made up of 4 modules. So you'll have to pass semester 1 and semester 2 modules in the first year to get to the second year. So it's a 1 degree made up of 24 modules, sir. Any other comments before I continue? If not, can you raise your thumbs? Can you give me a thumbs up to continue? Okay, no, it's well, Jackie has got a question. With the current situation on how effective can public administrative professionals assist with government to overcome the challenges it is facing? Example, the floods in KZN. Now, very good question, sir. You would understand, Mokele, that, for example, I spoke to you about 2 modules. One is a disaster management. Now, the disaster management, that module tells you what a national, provincial, and local government, in terms of its disaster management processes, must ensure that it provides in times of disasters. For example, we had in KwaZulu-Natal, and I think Cape Town, we had 2 years ago, we had serious floods. Now, where were the municipalities and were the government prepared in terms of disaster management processes? Did they have the funding? Did they have the goods and services to provide for the citizens that were affected? Did they have a management tool within the municipality? Understanding that in terms of the Disaster Management Act, every municipality at national, provincial, or local government must have a disaster management department that answers to the city manager and the mayor. So when disasters like the flood damages, when disasters like the pandemics come into your country or your town, these disaster management centers that are equipped with the tools, equipment, and plant to assist people in disasters. Another one, for example, if in local government, your service delivery, municipalities must be ready in terms of assisting its citizens in times of disasters. There could be many disasters. There could be floods. There could be poverty issues. There could be food shortages. These are some of the disasters that come up. You will understand when you do this degree that will talk to you of how this is managed in terms of each at the national, provincial, local government, or at any public sector entity. Okay. Is that fine, sir? They asked me the question regarding to overcome the challenges of disaster. There are various other challenges, colleagues, that you will also come across. Not only floods. What about service delivery issues, housing issues, water issues, electricity issues? Those are other challenges that a government faces. And if you're armed with this Bachelor of Public Administration, you will have the capacity and the competency to argue with any public administration officers, whether a minister or whether a deputy minister, whether a national parliament member. In fact, I think, with respect to those colleagues, they must be also armed with this qualification or any other qualification that they can speak, that they, when they speak at podiums, when they deliver the manifestos, that they know what they're talking about in terms of delivery. Okay, I'll go back to the presentation. Then students, contributing to national and international government, international development. Now, you would also learn in this degree, or this Bachelor of Public Administration degree, is how do we interact internationally, nationally and internationally? How do we interact with the UK? How do we interact with Germany? How do we interact with our other African continents within the continent of Africa? What are the impacts in terms of South Africa engaging with other countries? In terms, for example, the SDs, the Sustainable Development Goals, elevating poverty by a certain date, ensuring that all colleagues are empowered in terms of work, sustainable work in a certain year. These are all global issues. These are what you as a student of public administration will learn. Graduates will pick up these development goals. How do we manage the sustainable development goals? How do we manage the various bodies that make up our national and international development projects? For example, the funding that we get from national government or from global government. How do we utilize those fundings from a global perspective? What issues such as, for example, that affects us globally? Your famine, your food shortages, your climate change, your pandemics, the World Health Organization, the National Development Funding Act, international governance. How do we relate with our partners in terms of various other countries? For example, Donald Trump made a statement recently that he will be cutting the funding, the HIV/AIDS funding for South Africa. That's a global issue. That's a national issue. And the government will have to take up the issue with our international role players. We'll have to fight this issue because we cannot lose that 400 billion US dollars. Because that affects us in terms of our management of our pandemics, our HIV/AIDS, our viruses, various viruses, the bird flu, for example. These are all international and global issues that where collaborative thinking, collaborative action is taking, engagement with our partners, various ministers take place at a national level. And that's how students, we develop national engagement. That's how we get best practices from engaging with other countries, engaging with the first world countries. Understanding that South Africa is a third world country and most of the African countries are third world countries, we are engaging with the first world countries, whether we like it or not, in terms of best practices, in terms of international, for example, your information and technology issues, your artificial intelligence issues. Those are all global issues that affect us and affect every country, and we have to be a player in that arena. So this degree will actually talk to you about those issues. Okay. Then we talk about, students, is the enhancing government accountability and transparency. What about our values and principles? How do we combat corruption? How do we foster trust between the officials of a government and the office bearers of a government? Officials are the workers, the employees. Office bearers are the employers in most of the state. What is our interaction between the office bearers and the officials? How do we engage with government and the public at large? How do we manage auditing perspectives? How do we monitor programs and projects? How do we monitor our spending patterns? How do we manage our finances? These are all enhancing government accountability and transparency, our values and principles. You will learn that in local government 101, local government 102, local government 201, local government 202, local government 301, local government 302. You will learn those things. You will practically and theoretically manage the ethics within the public sector. One of the valuable courses within this degree is called the ethics in the public sector. It's a module on its own. And the other aligned to corruption and trust and flouting laws and regulations, for example, is a public sector supply chain management. That's another module you'll be learning in the second year of your studies. So these are important issues surrounding local government students, etc. And indicating. Colleagues, I think I've done my presentation, and I possibly gave you the benefits, strategic benefits of engaging with the Bachelor of Public Administration degree. And I'm sure that those of you who are on call will saw the benefits of undertaking this degree. And I'm sure that I will be receiving applications for this degree, hopefully. I made a point, and I hope that you have understood the presentation. Colleagues, any comments? Any comments? Send me a chat. Was this Junita Williams? You say something about evenings? I didn't understand that. I'm a registered student with the BPA looking. Oh, great, Lorraine. Murli, you'll enjoy the course. Okay, you will enjoy the course, definitely. Students, further to the presentation that I made to you, you will also note that we have some additional activities within various programs. We have master classes. We have a student engagement, experiential learning. We have now created the 21 Ellerwood Street in Durban, which is a first in many of the private universities. We have a planetarium. We actually have a lemonade factory that's within the building, the 21 Ellerwood Street building within the head office in Durban. And there's much more than just the theoretical aspect that you will learn. Junita, you are struggling to get in. Okay, we'll ask this presentation to be made to you, and hopefully you will then understand it. Let me just say any comments to answer. I mean, they're all yes, sir. Looking forward. There is an organization called African Association. Yes, African Association of Public Administration. Yes, that's a body you will learn in the, I think it's in the year one students. It falls under the public administration module. There's various, there's a South African Institute of Public Administration. It's the African Association of Public Administration. There's various other management. These are, they set up in terms of, for example, the African Association of Public Administration and Management set up various goals in developing countries. For example, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, exactly. And they were sent in consultants, they sent in management consultants into the areas to find out what was the issue. Recommendations after an extensive survey, actually extensive discussion with the various communities within the countries, and they come up with recommendations. For example, one of the countries, I think is Nigeria, the main issue that the South African, the African Association of Public Administration and Management recommended was the water issue in that country was poor. So if they restore the water issue in the country and agriculture, it will manage the sustainable lives, the quality of lives of people. That's what the the African Association of Public Administration and Management will do. So that's part of your course, colleagues. Mojeka is part of your course. Which is more advanced, public administration or public, which is more, students, the public management is an arm of the public administration. And once you finish the degree in the Bachelor of Public Administration, then we have a degree called a postgraduate diploma in the public sector management. Now that is advanced, it's actually going to the management issues, into management tools, and then how do the public sector uses the management structures and the management tools such as Structures Act, Systems Act, PFMA, Disaster Management Act, and so forth, and the policy development, policy management, how then that is effective in the public administration sector. It's called an articulation. You articulate from the Bachelor of Public Administration to the postgraduate diploma in public sector management, and then thereafter to your MBA. let me see any comments on the comments, students. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to start. Thank you. Thank you, colleague. Hopefully to see you soon. The explanation on public administration are interesting and persuasive. Yes, Robert. Percussive. Yes, go for it. Hope to see you soon in the class. Okay, Dumisela, thank you so much. Somi, yes, you are going to enjoy the class. For those new students, there'll be an orientation soon. I think I'll be speaking on the orientation as well. So just look at your student portal for the dates and times under your planner. You will find an orientation that will be soon for all new students. Mojeka, you think you're missing me, Mr. Mojeka? What missing Dr. Govender? Please join us this semester. I'll try, sir, because I have to look after 7, 8 programs. I've got some good lecturers. They're all qualified lecturers going to be on this program. They are subject matter experts, so you're getting the best of the best. You are getting the best of them. I am on study. I study online. I will work to get books. Colleagues, you will see that your planners for books, prescribed books, recommended books, you'll see in your planners. You have your prescribed books, recommended books. You can contact the library. You can go to EBSCO host. Students, you can Google any material. You can go to Google. You can go to the internet. You can Google any material, articles in the newspaper. As long as it speaks to the subject matter, you may use it. What more do AI play in government? Colleagues, AI is soon to going to be happen in terms of the public administration. So AI is a new kid on the block, as it were. It's playing a vital role in government. It's playing a vital role in the public sector management. It's playing a vital role at all sectors of government, even in your corporate government. Is playing a role. So AI is an important tool. You must use AI for your benefit of your study, but one thing you must avoid is plagiarism. You can use AI, you can choose ChatGPT, you can use any other internet courses, internet materials, but do not plagiarize. Your marks will be limited to plagiarism, and plagiarism is regarded as theft. It's stealing somebody else's work. You can use it, but apply your own skills and knowledge when you're applying. AI is important. It's now in all universities, in all colleges, in all schools, whether globally, nationally, within the South African system, AI. You've got to embrace it, but you got to use it with a lot of wisdom. Yes, you may use it, but to use it, Janita, in your assignments, in whatever documentation, but rephrase it, apply it, because what the examiner wants to know, or the marker wants to know, whether you understood what you wrote. If you copy and paste from ChatGPT and from AI, you will be penalized in terms of your marks. So we want to see the students understanding, applying their own skills and knowledge, applying in their own writing, application of the case studies, application of the module guides, application of the AI tool, application of the ChatGPT is relevant, but use wisdom and do not be caught out for plagiarism and copying. Jerome, classes will start in 2 weeks' time. I think just immediately after your orientation, classes will start. Please look out for your planners that are on your LMS, on your student portal. Lorraine Murli, please write to student support and ask them about if you go to your LMS, Lorraine, you will find your planner in your LMS. In your student portal, you will find your LMS, and you will see all those things appearing on your LMS in their planners, and you'll find the various dates are within are incorporated in that. Any other questions, colleagues? Was this presentation valuable to you, students? I mean, dear colleagues, besides the students? How will I know if I'm registered on small? Colleague, you will receive your email on your My Regent email. You will receive your details by your email. If not, let me please write to student support, and they will help you in that regard. Please send them a good email. And do you have any advice for first-time students? Please, any advice? Attend all lectures, complete your assignments on time, complete your quiz on time, don't leave studies to a last minute, listen to your lecturers. They give you good advice. Go over your presentations that are going to be given to you during your webinars. Please engage with your lecturers. When you go for your lecture, you'll be given, you can unmute your mics, you can ask for your mics to be unmuted by the QA office or by the lecturer concerned, and you'll be able to engage with the lecturer. Ask questions. Q&A sessions are at every lecture, so you can ask questions relating to your studies, okay? It's important. Janita, online stuff is, once you get used to it, Janita, it's easy. I was the same problem too. I didn't like online stuff, but then I got used to it, and here I am talking to you online. So just practice it. Go to your student on board, go to your LMS, work around it, try new stuff, and it'll come to you automatic. If not, contact student support, and they will get somebody to help you in that regard. Will recordings be made available by lectures? As some of us, Jerome, it's important. You will get recordings, but may I suggest, or may I seriously suggest that you attend lectures. Try and attend the lectures, because the lectures are in the evenings and Saturdays. We try to accommodate all students. Yes, the recordings will be made available and it will be on your student portal, but it will be preferably, I'll encourage you to join the lectures. It's important the way you can engage with the lecturers. I was advised by my student consultant that the system is not yet open. Lorraine, please write to student support. Please write. Will surely help you in terms of your access to your. Please write to student support, quoting your student number and your for asking for help in terms of your access to your student portal. Okay, student, if there's no other questions or comments, may I thank you for joining in, and I hope this presentation, for those that want to, the benefits, strategic benefits of registering for the Bachelor of Public Administration is made more sense to you, and that I would like to see you all. It's for your own good, students. 3 years from now, you'll be thinking, why didn't I do the Bachelor of Public Administration? It's important for you to ensure that when you get into your next level of your career, that you are armed and that you have the right tools to manage your portfolio. Regent Hub, sorry, are you talking about, sorry, I just want to go back to that question somebody asked. Thank you. I'm just trying to get to the question that somebody asked. On my Regent app, where it says percentages, I did a few activities. Students, for the assessment purposes, there's a quiz that will appear. There's an opening date and closing date for a quiz. Once you register, once your orientation is complete, the quiz will be open. The quiz and the assessment, where you'll be assessed on that. Then there's an assignment for 70 marks, where you'll be assessed on that. The others are for you just to get engaged. So your marks for assessment is your quiz, Your marks for assessment is your assignment and your exams for the Bachelor of Public Administration. Let me see. Yes, exactly what I'm pursuing. Really excited. Thank you. Thank you very much for the insightful presentation. It was an eye-opener. Thank you, student. Thank you, colleagues. I appreciate that. Under student support and onboarding, say it shows. As explained to Jointa, there's for assessment purposes, it's your quiz out of 30 marks and your assignment out of 70 marks. Those are your assessments, and then your exams. Okay, I think Mojeki Mokele, I think you sent your email address. I'm sure that the colleagues have taken note of that, and they will send you the presentation. Is there any group where everyone is maybe some? The WhatsApp group, that is your choice, colleagues, because be careful of the Poppy Act, that you got to get permission in terms of understanding the WhatsApp group, the usage of the WhatsApp group. So I'll ask that your students get together and you all decide how you're going to manage the WhatsApp group. So there's a lot of regulations in terms of that. Our exams are structured. The exams out of 100 mark students. It covers the entire module guide. There's the entire presentation that we made to you. You'll get 4 webinars, which will cover the 5 or 6 modules, 24 subjects. In terms of, for example, semester 1, it will carry the 4 subjects. Semester 2 will carry the next 4 subjects. So you will write half-yearly exams. In July exams, and then the for the first semester, and then you write another exams in January for the second semester. It's all semester based. Students, can we please open a group? Okay, that's your choice, sir. Colleagues, any more questions, any more comments before I close? And I want to thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. Okay, from my side, I want to thank you so much for being such an interactive colleagues, whether students or colleagues are still thinking of joining the Bachelor of Public Administration. I want to thank you for joining in, and I want to thank you for the interactive questions and engaging with me on the chat group. And I hope that I've answered every one of your questions, and it gave you some kind of encouragement to register for the Bachelor of Public Administration with the Region Business School. Thank you so much. Wish you well and have a great night further.